What up? Guess what we have going on today? I actually won't be able to see myself in the top left corner, so yeah, that might be an issue today. I don't know. I'm gonna actually shrink myself a little bit so that way you can see my presentation. After all, this is the 200th episode, so I probably could have started it while I had it open, but I'm different, right? Different than anybody that you've ever met before. Geology, Settlers of Catan. All right, let's go. Let's how do we do this? I want to present. How do you present? Nope. Home. Reset second. What? How do you present? How do you present? Here we go. This is the Settlers of Catan. Alright? So here's what my board looks like. Oh, shoot. Yeah, and I guess you'll be seeing how everybody's traveling. So you got Elmo, SpongeBob, Sonic. I accidentally put Kanye West and forgot to change it. Tupac, and John Madden. So, they're going to be traveling across the land today. And obviously, Tupac has something to say.
We are starting in desert, not a desert like a treat. The desert that's dry, desert that'll make you cry. Desert that will get SpongeBob to die. Let's let SpongeBob speak now. We are starting in desert.
Okay, he keeps talking. Now let's let SpongeBob talk as Tupac said.
So here are some positives about being in a desert. There's water in the cacti. However, not everyone is a camel, so they can't eat it. There are some mineral resources in the ground, but we don't have the means to get them. Being in a desert is mostly negative. It is dry. There aren't any animals for food. While we are in the desert, there might be a drought or sandstorm. That's why we're leaving.
So now they're gonna leave, right? But unfortunately, SpongeBob is gonna die due to the lack of water, and the rest of the group, though, they escaped to tile 6. And now that they're in the mountains, what are some pros and cons of that? To speak on this, John Madden.
There's more water than in the desert. There are more animals to be hunted. The trees on this mountain provide shade that we didn't get in the desert. The slant surface makes farming hard. Landslide. That would almost certainly kill you. Avalanches are also an issue because this mountain has snow.
And now, unfortunately for them, the landslide was too much and one of them died. Because there's a landslide that happened.
Well, folks, we've got a real situation on our hands here. Look at that. There goes the Hellsman. That's what we call landslide. And let me tell you, it's not something you want to mess with. You see, when all that soil and rock start moving downhill, it can take everything in its path with it. That's why it's important to be aware of the warning signs and make sure you're not in the path of danger. You know landslides can happen anywhere, anytime, and it's up to us to be prepared. Just like in football, you need to have a game plan, and you need to execute it. Ever I did not. This is my ghost talking right now.
All right. And I actually did present this in front of my class. It was kind of fun. Oh, you know what's interesting? I didn't notice this, but the date down here changes. When I originally made the slide, it wasn't the 29th. I didn't notice that, so it automatically updates. That's interesting. Okay, so the landslides and potential for avalanches are too much, so the gang decides to move, especially after one of them dies. The landslides were occurring frequently because there's a fault line nearby that caused an earthquake that caused the landslide. The only question is, where do they go now? And they'd actually decide to go to tile 9. And for the purposes of my project, I'm calling it a forest, so I don't really care what you think. And what's great about being in the forest, it has even more trees in the mountain. It's far enough away from the mountain that it isn't exposed to landslides. It's near a river, so the group has even more water. The trees are good sticks for tools, but they also attract animals because having a shaded area and leaves that herbivores / omnivores can eat will attract more animals or just more insects, and the animals... Yeah, anyways, whatever. It's far more peaceful and quiet than the previous tiles. But what's bad about living in the forest? More animals means more predators. Being near a river means there's risk for floods. But there's no way that's happening. So the forest flooded and Elmo died.
Elmo thinks that it is getting lazy and just killing off characters whenever they get too near.
No, I'm not.
Where's the chemistry between characters? Where's the information in the slice that other group said? Elmo doesn't think again cares about Elmo. He just wants to get his presentation done and is extending the premises so he can get to the 4-minute mark.
That last part was true. So yeah, I'm doing that. So the rest of the group decided to go to tile 4, and the group consisting of only Sonic and Tupac escaped to the one place where they feel like they'll avoid death. This is a plains area for the purpose of this experiment. So we're almost at the end. So Sonic is going to speak on the pros of being in the plains.
Pros: great for farming, temperate climate. Flat area makes landslides less likely. It is just a great place to live overall.
However, they forgot to consider tornadoes. A tornado started to form as Sonic and Tupac were building their house together. Tupac ran inside, but Sonic knew he was faster than the tornado. He ran completely off the board of Catan, which is something no one has done before. Tupac was stuck in the house at the tornado's mercy. He thought it was all going to be over. And that's because it was. He died. The end. Outro.